right. Welcome to the Patriot Hour for Monday, June 3rd, 2019. I am Michael, your host. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving us some time. All right, folks, we know there is evidence of Obama abuse going all the way back to 2012. FISA, there's been a judge. Let me turn that down a little bit. There's been a judge that ruled on this back in like April of 17. FISA abuse, unwarranted, illegal searching of the query of the database of the NSA and the intelligence agencies. All right, they were weaponized, politicized to go after enemies and get dirt on them. There's been a group of lawyers, a group of reporters digging and getting to the bottom of all this. All right, people like Hannity have been reporting on it on his nightly show here at the Patriot Hour. We've been following along with that and lots of other things. All right, we're going to jump into a few different things here, but it's all coming out, folks. There is no denying it. There's just a lot of people ignoring it. All right, a lot of people that don't know the extent of this, a lot of people that aren't well caught up onto what's going on, a lot of people that just don't know and are ignorant to all the facts. All right, and people that watch only mainstream are not going to get, especially depending on what mainstream you watch. All right, there's a few shows out there and a few people doing the work, and that's who we're going to look into today. All right, so watch this little clip here, and then I got a few other things I want to show you.
Elected president. There is a deep state, and now their day of reckoning has come. And by the way, the time for accountability is now. All right, joining us now, you look at this great panel we have. Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett, Fox News investigative reporter Sarah Carter, investigative reporter, lead guy at The Hill, John Solomon, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Victoria Tunsi, former U.S. Attorney Joe DeGeneva, American Conservative Union Chair Matt Schlapp, former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, Fox News correspondent at large Geraldo Rivera. This guy, Judicial Watch President, Mr. Foya himself, Tom Fitness here, and Fox News contributor, former Clinton pollster, Doug Schoen, that sees his party imploding before his eyes and will admit it. First of all, and I mean this with all my heart, we wouldn't be here today. They probably would have succeeded had it not been for every single one of you. And I applaud all of you for your deep digging, your investigative reporting, the hard work, the tough analysis, and you, as a former liberal, really being fair and wanting our president to succeed. Thank you all. I give you all a big hand.
And to you?
Well, I'm just a talk show host, so don't worry. If all of this happened and we're all right, we already know the Russia hoax is over. How do we fix this? Where do we begin? I don't think you fix it unless you start at the beginning, which was the Hillary rigged investigation.
The only thing that's going to bring accountability to the Obama Justice Department and FBI is a federal grand jury. The President of the United States picked the perfect man at this great inflection point in history, Bill Barr. He will not be stopped. He's going to get to the bottom of this. And that's exactly the only thing that will bring the truth out. A federal grand jury, testimony under oath, subpoena documents, get it done, and that's where we're headed.
And you believe all of that will happen?
Mr. Barr is the perfect man at the right moment in history.
Victoria.
I think what's scary is I do not believe that the 2016 election was the first rodeo on this kind of activity. There is evidence, a FISA court opinion in 2017 that talks about the Obama administration violating FISA going back to 2012. There's also evidence of how they went against their political opponents. If you remember, Mike Flynn was a thorn in the side of the Obama administration.
They said, could you imagine the deputy FBI director bragging? He said, you don't need an attorney.
Hannity, this is the one thing that bothers me a little bit. He cuts people off. People right when they're getting ready to get into something real good. He'll do that sometimes, and here I'm doing it too. But no, I mean, luckily Victoria's smart enough. She's able to hold on to what she was getting ready to say and gets right back to it. But that's one thing. There's tons of people out here, not tons, but a few good people following along. Hannity's great. no worries there. He's just, sometimes he cuts off. He gets excited and he can't control his excitement.
And an FBI director saying he took advantage of the chaos, setting up a 33-year vet.
Let's go back to 2014 when they set him up with that Russian woman and then had people immediately start typing that they were having an affair when we know that that's false. And she is now suing. And if that were true, you think she'd be suing? No, she just filed a lawsuit last week. There is evidence that this started in the early days of the second term of President Obama, and they just got better.
Does this go all the way to the Oval Office? You're jumping ahead of me, but I planned on getting that.
Absolutely.
John.
You know, dirty tricks, character assassination, political opposition research, they've been in elections for 40 years. What distinguishes this election is the fact that the United States government, the FBI, possibly the CIA, the NSA, were involved in carrying out a political dirty trick, and that should concern us all. Never in my lifetime have I known the FBI to do the sort of things that are now in open for all of us to see. It has to be. Even
when we had the church hearings and... Nothing compares.
You can't ever find a time in history where the FBI and the CIA sought to change the results of an election. Here you may have that as the final outcome of this investigation.
You know, I have an FBI flag pin on, and I have a CIA pin, both given to me. And the reason is, and I make this distinction almost every night because...
This is where he gets into, and we're done watching that. You guys can watch that in full. I will leave the link down below. But this is where he gets into... the rank and file, all right? We know they're not bad, folks. We know how this works. To break it down simply, even in like the military, all right, you have orders roll downhill. You have the head captain on the ship or something, right? And you're just going to get the orders come down. The typical enlisted person that gets an order doesn't, question the guy above him that gave the order. Unless it's 100% blatantly unlawful, you can pretty much maybe not do it and then get away with it, but you'd still get in some trouble, go through a process, and finally, if you get your time in court and get to speak in, the UCMJ captain's mast or whatever you want to call it, you're going to, court martial, whatever, you're going to maybe get your story out and, they'll see that it was justified and why you didn't do it. But typically you don't have that kind of time. And people, so the people out in the FBI, the rank and file, they're doing the legwork, knocking on doors, bringing evidence back, submitting it. And if you have a couple of corrupt people at the top, they can throw things away, shred it, change things like we saw where it was happening with words and the way things were going to be turned in. They'd erase things or rewrite it. That happens. And that's all it takes. A few bad apples to spoil the bunch, to shift the narrative. Each piece of person out there in the field collectively, it's like, well, I know I turned in this evidence and that showed guilt in my own mind. I mean, I don't know the levels way up there, but why did it go away? Why is it not being talked about? I don't know, but they're busy on some other job collecting some of their evidence at this point, and they just don't have a lot of time to worry about the political side or the end result. Even though they might be following along, but it's just one person out there and he's like, I got 15 years and I'm not going to go to work tomorrow and raise a stink. I just want to get my job done. So people have been complicit unwittingly. There's been complicit people wittingly. There's been, there's all facets of it. People have been blackmailed to help, to do something, but, we'll get to the bottom of it. Very interesting, Hannity, I wanted you guys to see there. So you saw it, and that was the main thing. All right, and I got an article here as well that kind of leads that up to that article, which I watched that episode on Friday. 100%fedup.com. Where's the outrage? There's evidence Obama admin FISA abuse started as early as 2012. If not for some of the key lawyers and reporters who have been seeking the truth, the ones that we just saw, all right, that panel on Hannity was made up of lawyers and really good reporters that have been following along. We wouldn't know half the dirt that we know about the corruption within our intel agencies. Two key people in the search for truth are Joe DeGenova and his wife, Victoria Tunsing. All right, that was a lady next to him. Last night, Sean Hannity aired a show with this amazing couple and several others who have been investigating Russiagate from the very beginning. Tunsing said one key thing. or one thing that is key to why the Democrats are freaking out about AG Barr's investigation. Former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Victoria Tunsing, there is evidence Obama administration FISA abuse started as early as 2012. They got this little link here to the Joe DiGenova spot and his wife. The entire Hannity show from last night's right here. The video is a must-watch for anyone who doesn't understand just how serious this whole thing has become. It's bouncing back to Obama and others, but the key players are in our corrupt intel agencies, so they still lie there. So now you could see why. All right, folks, this has nothing to do with Trump. This never had anything to do with Trump, other than they want him out now. They wanted whoever out. This whole spying thing goes back to 2012. We've had FISA judge rule on that there was illegal spying, searching into the NSA database, the query searching. All of that has been deemed illegal. This was all before Trump. We believe that this goes back to 2012. This 2016 election was their second time. They got it dialed in a little bit better, learned from their errors in 2012, even though they won. But we're seeing here that the 2012 election most likely was set up. They had all the political opposition they needed to keep an eye on everybody, be ahead of them, smudge them, smear them, and oust people to get out. In the 2016, they probably applied this spying on everybody. They really dialed in on Trump and Cruz. They thought they were the front runners. They probably even were spying on Democrats around Hillary to make sure they had that. We know Bernie went down and got cheated somehow. So this is huge. Now, the reason of the loud screaming, and they don't want to go backwards to look at the origins of the 2016 election and how it got started, because it's going to keep going back. And it's already been being looked at, but it's going to keep going back all the way to 2012 as early as we know, and it has nothing to do with Trump. And it's going to be really bad for the last administration, Obama specifically. Got him on tape several times lying about when he found out about Hillary's server, when he found out about this or that. There's plenty of tape evidence out there, him lying and knowing what he is doing. So that's why it doesn't add up. Folks, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be historical on a level of corruption that we've never seen. All right. Probably the worst political scandal in the history of the U.S. as far as spying and politicizing our DOJ, FBI, and the three-letter alphabetic groups that got hijacked, abused to the highest levels. No covering it up. It's hard to follow along. Again, don't ever take what we say to be truth here, to be word, to be 100%. Use your own judgment, your own discernment. We read lots of articles here. Some are just going to be naturally wrong. When you're in the intelligence gathering business, you're going to look at tons of things. Sometimes they don't pertain to anything that we're looking at, but unfortunately you read them. It's in your mind, but you just need to be able to, chew the meat and spit out the bone. That's the case in anything. So again, use your own best research gathering tools. You're going to rely on your mind, your stomach, how you feel, and come to your own conclusions based off lots of facts. All right, folks, we always promote that here at the Patriot Hour. Think for yourself, connect your own dots. We'll help cater in some stories and point you in the right directions as well. And this will lead you to other things. But read everything you can, watch everything you can, listen to everybody you want, but believe none of it until you can verify it. All right. Again, I am Michael. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless and Godspeed to each and every one of you. Thanks for joining in. Make sure you subscribe. Take a look in the description box. I got the full Hannity link down below. It goes directly to the Fox News, I believe. It's this full 44-minute commercials are already edited out for your viewing pleasure. And check that out, folks. That way you can watch that in full and fill in some gaps in this whole story for you. All right. Again, I'm Michael. Have a great morning into your afternoon. And again, God bless each and every one of you worldwide. Where we go one, we go all.